On the 30th of July 2010, Pakistan woke up to a nightmare. At its peak, a year's worth of rain fell in a day, affecting an estimated 14 million men, women and children across the entire country.
Forest fires have killed at least 25 people and left thousands homeless in central Russia as heat wave grips much of the country. The situation has escalated following weeks of record-breaking temperatures.
In the last month, 10 temperature records have been broken in Moscow.
I don't have to go very far into the future to see what a painful human existence of suffering looks like, because it's happening right now in Haiti as the soil washes away. It's happening on the Gulf Coast now as the oil washes up on shore. It's happening with the climate in chaos as it is right now, and more soil washing away from the huge storms and more land drying up from the longer droughts we're getting all over the world.
How do our actions affect what's happening in the world, and what is our responsibility towards that? I think we bear a huge responsibility.
Here's how lawns contribute to the larger picture of ecological and social degradation.
Yeah, got me one for you, all you put me arms right up.
The fossil fuels that are used in those lawnmowers, the fossil fuels that are used in the car that went to get the gasoline to put in the lawnmower, the fossil fuels that created all the petrochemical products that are being used on the lawn, those are contributing to climate chaos and putting carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. They pollute the local environment. The fossil fuel use is polluting the air, and the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides that are being put on the lawn, they pollute the soil, they pollute the water. And then there's the people that are living and interacting with these lawns. It's a threat to human health.
And we live on wells around here, and why you would ever want to put a poison into the ground where you're going to drink the water is beyond me. If you have children and they're out running around on your lawn, why would you want to put something that even possibly could make them sick?
It's not just what lawns are doing, it's what they're not being used for. The same folks who have lawns are having to buy their food from a place that came thousands of miles away, that are low nutrition, not organic, and that's causing destruction to those landscapes. So the soil is running down the rivers and out into the ocean. The land is just wasting away, deforestation is happening, and all that contributes fossil fuels and greenhouse gases up into the atmosphere.
I see it as a process of the localization, the taking care of our own needs locally, and thus it's taking pressure off the larger global ecosystem, the global production systems.
There's something about a landscape that was composed where it's really to be looked at and exclusively to be beautiful that I do find off-putting to me. The idea of taking land, whether it's a small property or a big property, that birds depend on, that what happens with water in our society depends on, and just treating it exclusively as an ornamental feature does not appeal to me at all.
So basically it's just a picture of waste. Lawns create waste, where there could be blossoming abundance.
There ain't no reason things are this way. It's how they always been and they intend to stay. I can't explain why we live this way. We do it every day. Preachers on the podium speaking of saints, prophets on the side.
So what does the land say about us? I think it reflects completely about who we are, and right now having these very neat landscapes, these ordered landscapes, well trimmed bushes and neatly mowed lawns. My perspective is that it really reflects a real separation, people from landscape, and so people want the landscape to be very static and controlled and ordered, and they're not really, and so we're sort of fighting against what's happening out in the natural world.
The real core here is we need to reconnect people to the earth and to each other so they stop destroying the earth and each other.
The lawn, it's in a bizarre way creating a desert. Maybe that's the metaphor there, is the lawn is a desert, really, and we've simplified it and sterilized it to a point where people can't see the land as a place of diversity and change.
The lawn is us oppressing what could be a huge old-growth forest, right, into something that's small and relatively monoculture with degraded soil and not much carbon in the roots. And so take a piece of the lawn and don't do anything to it. Just leave it and watch. Go out there for 10 minutes every day and just watch. Don't mow it, don't cut it, don't spray it, don't plant anything. Just watch. And over time, your connection with that piece of land, with the ants that are crawling around, with the fox that you saw run across it early one morning, that connection is more important maybe than any of the food we could grow. Right? It's that reconnection to our local ecosystem that reweaves us into the web of life that we're part of but have forgotten about.
Most people can appreciate a beautiful woods. They can appreciate, and most people have visited national parks and gone there and maybe rented a cabin and loved the surroundings. And it never occurred to them that they could live in that surrounding. They really divorce where they live with that, even though most people do have a favorable idea of the beauty of nature. They somehow don't translate that as what is either acceptable or desirable around them. And I don't think that necessarily needs to be, and I think that can be another thing where you really can point things out to folks where, they do realize, why is it that I don't accept nature around my house, but I'll drive miles and pay money and do all kinds of things to get in it,
Why are we not doing something different than having large swaths of lawn everywhere? Well, I think that it's habit, that it's these kind of habits get ingrained in cultures. There's an aesthetic that people get tied to, kind of just a bizarre behavior where I think it's just deeply ingrained in people, and so to change that is, I'm not really sure. I think people have to get excited about something different.
Take this idea of edible landscaping and removing non-functional landscapes that take energy to maintain and transitioning them into productive, healthy, creative, interesting environments where we can be getting our food and capturing our water and learning from the land and each other. That's exciting. That's really where we need to be going. So for some people, a lawn becomes a garden. It becomes an annual vegetable garden where they're eating tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and getting potatoes and corn that's coming right out of their lawn. That could be it for some people. For someone else, it's an orchard. Right? It's a multi-storied orchard where every tree is dripping with fruit and the shrubs underneath have big ripe berries on them, and there's good smelling herbs growing in the understory that are like mint and onions and licorice, and all of that is useful medicinals for the people who are living there, eating the fruit and taking care of themselves.
The diversity, the adventure really doesn't exist in a lawn. In a meadow, you're walking around, there's butterflies, there's birds, there's different plants popping up at different places. There's all kinds of things going on outside of just looking at the plants.
I love the sounds. I love hearing the insects. I love hearing the wind through the grasses. It's very soothing. One of the real differences between our meadow and even our little bit of lawn, which is near the meadow, is just the amount of life.
We've had bear wander through, we've had coyotes, small mammals, martins, fishers, a huge population of turkeys, raptors, hawks, and then the actual birds that find themselves hanging out in the meadows. Every day I go out there, I see something new. And I don't know if you can do that with a lawn.
And so what I'm looking for in a garden is a exhilarating, a quieting, some type of experience where I don't look at it as an outsider, but I feel like that I'm in it and I'm a part of it.
The lawn, yes, it's no good, we don't want it, but it's also an opportunity for something new. It's an opportunity for us to create something that hasn't been seen on the planet before. If you own land right now, be grateful for that and use that as a springboard for change.
We do have control over our own space. Doing this, having the native plants and trying to be as conscious as I can about how I manipulate the land, what plants I plant, that is something that I can control and make that this little piece of the earth that I have control over, I can make what I feel to be our good and responsible decisions.
And I can build on those little changes into something larger. And as I build on them, more people show up. My friends arrive, allies arrive to help the work continue. So I still believe I have no idea what I'm capable of in the world. I have no idea what you're capable of in the world, because we're just getting started. Every time someone mulches over their lawn and plants a vegetable or plants a tree, that's like sticking a flag in the ground and saying, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try local, organic creativity. And that flag in the ground is really important.
Welcome the sun, the clouds and rain, the wind that sweeps the sky clean and lets the sun shine again. This is the most magnificent life has ever been. Here is heaven and earth and the brilliant sky in between. Blessed is this life and I'm gonna celebrate being alive. Blessed is this life and I'm gonna celebrate being alive. Blessed is this life and I'm gonna celebrate being alive. Blessed is this life, oh, and I'm gonna celebrate being alive. I dwell in the darkness, I let in the light. Asleep in the afternoon and become the noise in the night. I trespass in temptation, suffered in sacrifice.